So this video is dedicated to my sister who started a website called imperfectharmony.com. She also has a Facebook page, so you can like her on Facebook as well, and they often have posts about the new stuff that they're doing, etc. So anyways, she is inviting guest bloggers to share their story or the recovery story, or offer tips and tricks on how to overcome stress, fears, how to meditate, products that can help you meditate, all that great stuff. So if you'd like to contribute anything, be sure to like her Facebook page and throw your link down below on Facebook. Under the health category on imperfectharmony.com, you can go ahead and submit a little tip if you'd like to do that as well. If you'd like to remain anonymous and not do a video or blog post, you're welcome to do that. So if you don't have a camera, you can also do blogs, and just throw that link on Facebook. I find that a lot of Western psychology and Western medications like to focus on understanding your symptoms and understanding your problems. While I can respect that it's good to address your issues, I find that psychology doesn't necessarily work in the recovery process. Issues. Sometimes counselors won't either. Sometimes they just want you to address it and kind of leave it at that. I find that that can be helpful to people, to have someone to talk to, a place to go to share their problems, depending on if the person's willing to offer feedback. Not everyone's going to have the advice that you're going to want. So I wanted to offer you some helpful pointers that have helped me. So this isn't like a sad story or whatever. To me, this is like a post story. This is like a recovery story. This is like a story to sort of help you along, and basically it's helped me. I prefer Eastern medication type stuff, or I shouldn't call it medication. I prefer Eastern psychology because I like the way that they look at things rather than Western psychology. I find that there's almost no recovery to Western psychology. Once again, I find that they just kind of want your money, and I find it's it's good to address things for sure, but I find that sometimes the more you talk about things, the more you analyze things, and the more you deep think things and overanalyze and critical think things, you don't necessarily get to a place where you're ready to move on because you're thinking in the past. So I think it's always good to press forward, and that's really what Eastern psychology kind of addresses. Kind of starts with me choosing to go to yoga for enlightenment. Now, the reason I love yoga and swear by yoga, and I really kind of don't think there's anything better than yoga right now, because it does connect your mind, body, and spirit. If you go to the right studio, the whole thing is just kind of helps you affirm your life. Some studios offer affirmations, and when in doubt, if your studio doesn't, you can always get books on affirmations, quotes, it's just like amazing. All like the good literature out there for affirmations, and I know it's a little hippie, but I think it can really help. If you think negatively, if you are constantly upset and irritated and you think nothing is possible, eventually your body will start to feel the same level of pain. Your body is the last line of defense for negative psychology. So if you're constantly putting yourself down, you don't feel your self-worth, you're constantly beating yourself up, and you don't think you love yourself enough, your body is eventually going to feel the pain in some way or another as well. This can be expressed by taking it out on your body heavily. With eating disorders, people will feel symptoms of physical pain associated with depression, and that's because their body's giving out. I think the best way to address this is to clear your head. Now, completely erase negative thoughts. Don't think about what has already happened. The only thing you can do is move on and just say, okay, well, the past is the past. I've already learned, and there's nothing I can do about it. I think everybody deserves the right to live a happy life, and everybody deserves the right to be loved. And a lot of people really don't realize that, and it's really sad. When I see people who are in pain and distressed, you know, sometimes you just want to give them a hug. And in all honesty, when people are at that level of pain, they really need a hug. And not everybody's willing to say, gee, I need a hug. Gee, I want a hug. But man, if you smile at somebody, if you try to radiate positivity to somebody who's not feeling happy, you can actually transition their mood. You could also transition yours by smiling a little bit more. If you are gonna walk around with a mopey face, sad face, you are going to radiate that energy off onto somebody else. They're gonna feel your pain. They're gonna think this person's either mad at me or this person's mad with themselves. So you can actually change the way your body or your mind thinks by changing the way you look. Just simply looking a little bit more upbeat, your brain will be like, oh, I feel a little bit happier. People start looking at you differently. People start looking at you more positively. And that can change your psychology in and of itself now that people are viewing you in a positive light. Sometimes some people are so in despair, you can share these things with them and they still won't be ready for it. In my opinion, one of the best things I heard in yoga class once was, take all your negative thoughts because you don't need them anymore. They're not doing anything for you. They're not honoring you anymore. So take all of them, visualize them as balloons. Your body is a box. Your thoughts are balloons. So release them from the box and let them into the air. I think that was like finally the affirmation or the thought process I need to hear to finally get. I also heard in yoga that was really groundbreaking was you need to honor yourself and release things that no longer serve you. This could be something in your life or someone in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're entirely ready to move on or that you don't like that person at all. But if they're no longer serving you and it's hurting you or that something is hurting you, it's time to release. So one last thing, if you change the way you look at things, things change. That's the best quote. That is by a famous person, I believe. And also, if you start to think impossibly, things can become impossible, but you need to divide the word. It now reads, I'm possible, which is exactly what it reads. So hopefully that will help you out a little bit. In all honesty, yoga has enlightened me so much. I hope this video enlightened you and kind of shared some things with you. If you can't like attend yoga classes or anything like that, hopefully those thoughts can kind of help serve you and kind of give you a little bit of backstory on why I prefer Eastern thought psychology to Western society, culture, chemicals, and medicines, because I just really think that it's beautiful to think a little more naturally. So thank you so much for watching.